That is 100% true. People will approach me sometimes and they'll go like,
KSI said this too, which is why I can't respect KSI and I can't respect Mike, because when Andrew Tate was, okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and address this right now.
This is what I say, okay? People will look at like biased media, for instance, and they'll say like the media is corrupting us. Bullshit. I think people want biased media. Here's the issue. So we say that like people are weak today, and to some extent that's probably true a little bit. But in the past, our mindset on like what it meant to be strong was up. We get like these soldiers coming back and it's like, suck it up. Nobody wants to report any like depression or PTSD or anything like that. And then people are killing themselves with these huge rates. If you go through a lot of fucked up shit as a kid, 1 out of 100 people will come out an amazing person and 99 out of 100 people will be destroyed. But we only see the 1 out of 100 that make it. People have this idea that adversity is bad, and that is just as destructive as too much adversity.
You're fucking retarded.
People need to understand this, and the right and left. Nobody gets this, okay? You have to.
Apparently, you know, your boy Logan Paul decided to have a podcast, and they were bashing the top G. And you know, I actually went ahead and watched the most part of that podcast on Impulsive, right? As you guys know, Logan Paul, he has his own podcast called Impulsive. And they talk about a variety of topics, and he had his co-hosts on. He had Mike and George. And they discussed some things, and you know, obviously Andrew Tate was quite a bit of them, and it was actually in the title. And what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and roll the clip for y'all, and then I guess we can just go and open it up for discussion.
He does not get it. He is also not a good person. We know the type of shit he says off camera, right? As much as he says,
"How would you know that?
This is a joke. I don't treat women like this. It's a character." No, it's not.
Here's what I'll say. He has built a platform on this return to alpha masculine traditionalist beliefs where, you know, woman at center of household, cooking for the kids, cleaning, raising the kids, man at war, whatever. And he's been spewing this rhetoric now for a long time. The issue is with all of that is he is not a traditionalist. In his own life, he has no family.
How do you know
he
that?
has no wife. He's 37 years old, 36.
With a Bugatti and a jet.
He has made the majority of his money off of cam girls, OnlyFans management,
Pyramid
and
scheme.
Casinos.
The man doesn't understand.
Did he just say pyramid scheme, or was that someone else?
Yeah, because
the downfalls of the traditionalist male. Okay, the downfalls.
Okay.
Of the traditionalist.
So we
male.
can go ahead. We can stop it right there because it's a rolling clip. So I guess I'll open it up to the panel first. What are y'all thoughts? Who wants to tackle this thing first? What are your guys' initial thoughts on this situation?
Crazy take to say he's not a good person, and the stuff he says on camera, when we all know what the you said on camera and posted on your YouTube channel, Logan Paul. What are you to talk about what people say on camera? You were the most canceled man in the world. Like, that was the biggest L.
Can you give the people a reminder of what that was? Some people forgot.
I was mad about that. Like, that in like my ancestors, my Asian side came in, and I was like, bro, something. I got triggered. It was the first time I really like got to claim my heritage, and I'm like, man, this dude is like. I was really mad about that. I was.
Yeah. Right.
Like running around being an obnoxious white guy with a Pokemon hat, just yelling out, making fun of Japanese culture, going to the suicide force and everything. He took a picture of he posted a video of a dead body, a suicide victim in the forest in Japan, and put it on. It was on trending.
How long ago
page.
is this? This is like what, 2015, 2014?
No, earlier than that, like 2018. 2018, I think.
Okay.
2017.
Okay.
Not that long ago. People were like, oh, he was a young man. I think he was my age when he did that.
Okay.
And everybody hated you. You made an apology video. Your whole redemption arc was like this big thing. Like, I'm growing. I'm moving past this. Not everybody's. And now here you are saying he's not a good person. You heard the stuff he says on camera. What happened to growing?
Yeah.
What happened to changing?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with KSI.
And we have a video on that too, Mo, if you could pull it up if we have it.
That's a good point.
The same thing with KSI. KSI was canceled for making the rape face.
Yeah.
I remember because I was a kid watching him, and KSI was one of my favorite YouTubers. So I remember in every single video he did. I remember like doing it at school because I watched it at KSI videos, doing the rape face and getting in trouble. Like, oh no, I saw the KSI's videos.
Yeah.
And then he got extremely canceled. He had to delete all those videos. He made an apology video. I'm sorry. And then now that somebody else is getting canceled, you just put it on somebody else. How are you not applying the same logic towards you and your character towards Tate?
Yeah.
I did. I started getting into political debate when I was around 2016 for the Trump stuff. And something that I noticed, this is kind of what I liked, was if I debated somebody and then I went into like a forum afterwards to see what the impression was of me, if all of the comments were just like attacking me personally, I knew I won the conversation because they had nothing to say to me, right? if you think Andrew Tate stands for bad things or he says bad shit, like address it and like confront it instead of just attacking the guy, right?
Fair enough.
Because even if he does have like everybody's made mistakes. Didn't MLK like cheat on his wife? Like,
Yeah,
everybody's fucked up. Everybody's made mistakes. Everybody's done bad shit, you know? But the idea that you could like impeach all of his speech because the guy doesn't live a perfect life, like I made a mistakes. He's older than me. I'm sure he's probably said he's made mistakes. Like deal with what the guy's actually saying instead of the weird character attacks. It's another reason why like I don't mind people shit talking people on shows. I think it's fine. I should talk to people all the time. I'm sure you guys do too. But if you're going to shit talk somebody, you should also be able to have them on to also confront their ideas, to force you to keep your own ideas honest and to make sure that you're representing their ideas honestly too.
That's fair.
Because at the end of the day, like, you know, what does Andrew Tate say? It's not about what he says. It's about what people say he says, you know, because there's a whole bunch of people that think he said like kill women, like crazy, insane shit. And it's like, at the end of the day, people are walking around with ideas of what people say. They haven't even said these things ever. It's just how they get represented by other people.
Out of context.
Yeah.
And real quick, I have a clip here from Logan Paul, Mr. You know, the social justice warrior. We're gonna play this clip real quick from
Feminist
TikTok.
champion.
Yeah,
Logan Paul.
and can we enlarge it as well?
Got banned from the internet. I don't feel like giving him the blessing of being my dance partner in the ring. I don't feel like platforming this guy.
Shut up.
Backlash
You are
against
right
the social
now.
media star who posted video of an apparent suicide victim is intensifying.
This has been the hardest time of my life. I've never been hated by the whole world, and it's been something to definitely overcome.
Do you deserve a second chance, would you say?
Everyone deserves second chances, bro.
Oh, shit, everybody does, right? Everyone deserves. And here's the thing: I would argue that what Logan did was way worse than what Andrew Tate talks about. Close. You know, but before I you know, obviously go to the guest first. Destiny, did you have anything else you want to add to that besides people making ad hominem attacks? What about you, MJ? What are your thoughts on this?
Bro, it's like a lot of pussy energy, as far as like when you talk on another man's name and you don't have factuals. Like all they have is proof, quote unquote, is like clips, and they're taken out of context, and that's what this whole cancel culture is about. Like, how are you going to judge a man? And like he clearly said in there, we know what he talks about off camera. How the hell do you know what this man talks?
Facts.
What? He doesn't have a family. This nigga don't got a mom. Like, what the fuck? What happened to his family? How you know that, bro? Did you put a hit on him? Like, what the fuck going on?
That's big facts, though.
I just don't like. I can never just believe one side. I'm one of them people that's like, bro, it's always three sides. It's that person, the other person involved, and the truth. And I have to like take that objective stance. I can't just go off of what one person says. Like it's not logical. So I don't pay attention to that bullshit, but
most people do.
Pussy energy.
Most people do.
So I watched the whole interview, whole 2 hours of it. And I'm not gonna lie, it was not a bad interview. However, it was more like they kept on the points of clips that are out of context and then painting it in a bad light, because for them it's going to be what's to say marketable and also as well monetary. Now my thing is with this whole Andrew Tate cancellation is that like he definitely had a message out there that was taken either good or bad, but at the same time that's his opinion. So my thing is like, okay, you're gonna cancel him, I'm glad it's canceled, but what's the real reason behind it? And my thing is like, okay, if he's canceled for a reason, say what it is. Don't just attack him personally. And then to say he doesn't have a family, bro, one, you never met him in person, and two, you don't know the man at all. So it's like, to say that to his face, bro, it's different than saying it on camera. That's all I gotta say, man.
Here, this is a question I have for you guys, because I asked people this and I've never gotten an answer. What the fuck was he even banned for?
See?
For being a dangerous individual.
What does that mean?
That doesn't mean
that's
anything.
asking the real questions.
Like, what was he actually?
That's asking the real questions.
It wasn't just one ban, too. He got knocked down on every platform.
I think
that's like some terrorist shit. What did he actually do?
Nothing.
That's a good question.
I think where it went crazy. Was when they posted that clip and it's like the teacher or whatever is like, my students are going around telling girls to get in the kitchen, and it's all because of Andrew Tate. It's like, what the? How do you even just like take that to the next level and let it go viral?
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it.
So give your point on the clip, and then we'll
we'll talk about why he got canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, so and just for full transparency with you guys, I talk to Andrew almost every day. Okay, we communicate via WhatsApp, and I know Andrew personally. We've known him now for going on almost a year and a half, 2 years now. Yeah. When people talk about him, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it bothers me because I know the man personally. I'm close friends with his friends, right? Obviously Sterling and Justin, and he's a very honorable guy. You know what I mean? He walks it like he talks it, man. And that's really that's why so many people are mad. And the thing is, right, with like what Mike is saying and Logan, all these other guys, is that what Andrew's doing is he's basically reminding men that there is a burden of performance. It's invisible, but it's there. You need to perform as a man. Right. And guys like Logan Paul, Mike Majlak, however you pronounce his name, KSI, etc. If you guys notice, they don't really make content to make men better. They just make mindless entertainment.
They make men worse, actually.
Yeah, they don't really teach you how to become a better man. They just tell you, let's just do mindless content, bring some porn stars on and, talk shit and blah, 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 whatever. They don't really teach guys, female nature. They don't teach guys how to make money. They don't teach guys how to get in shape, etc. They're entertainers, which is cool. Fantastic. You're entertainers.
It's more than that. Mike sells porn. You know that, right? Like the Sidemen Tinder thing, they actively are encouraging their young audience to go and watch porn and go sell it. And they have porn stars in their videos and they say, this is cool.
And I'm going to talk about that here in a second.
It's not even just improving men. That makes men weaker. Yeah. That makes men sadder. And they know that.
So the thing is that they don't get is that Andrew, right? Like channels like this, Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, whatever. A lot of people are like kind of fighting like the RP content because they're like, they're just trying to sell course and all this other shit. Well, we make a bunch of content for free. Like Andrew Tate, Hustlers University, $50 a month. You don't have to buy Hustlers University. You can just like literally watch the videos for free or whatever. But the thing is that for them, they look at it like, okay, these guys are pulling from our market share because they're teaching guys how to become better. If guys become better, what are they going to do? They're going to continuously want to self-improve, and they're not going to watch mindless fucking content where they're just talking shit on a podcast and not necessarily giving you any real value. Okay? I'll tell you guys this. Since I've been on my self-improvement journey, I'm going to the gym. I'm watching documentaries. I'm trying to learn. I'm not necessarily watching mindless content. I'm not going to lie to you. I used to like Logan Paul before this situation. Now it made me realize, like, okay, now this guy has an agenda, because let's be honest here. A lot of people hate the Paul brothers, right? A lot of people hate Jake. A lot of people hate Logan, right? Because he still hasn't, there's still a lot of people that hate him for that, videotaping that dead body. So what they're doing is, and I see it's a smart marketing tactic, well, Andrew Tate is a big bad villain. He's over here being a misogynist, telling guys he's a big bad boy. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to galvanize all these social justice warriors, all these feminists that used to hate us and call us toxic assholes. This guy's worse. So I'm going to go ahead and demonize him. You guys go ahead and line yourselves with me, because people hate Andrew more than they hate Logan, and they hate Andrew more than they hate Jake. That's why they went ahead and did that podcast. Yeah, I'll fight you, Andrew. No, I'll fight you, because they know it's going to be a big payday. They know if they lose, it's still a win-win, because he's a professional kickboxer. They're just fucking YouTubers. They can still go ahead and hide behind that and say, well, I'm just a YouTuber, man. I lost. Has Logan even won a boxing match? No. He's always lost.
2-0.
But for him, he doesn't give a fuck, because he's looking at it like, yo, as long as I can get the money and I can get the court of public appeal, that's all that matters. That's what Logan cares about, his image, which is cool. I get it. He obviously got scarred from that Japanese situation. It fucked him up. He almost didn't survive that. But my thing is, for you to pull somebody down after they got canceled, because I'll tell you guys this right now, if he didn't get canceled, they would be more than happy to bring him on Impulsive and have a discussion with him. They would be more than happy to fucking have a boxing match. But since he got banned, they're looking at it like, oh, well, we can't like make a bag so much off of this shit, because we're gonna have to go on his platform, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So they're gonna talk shit and kick him while he's down. So I look at it like, these entertainer guys that don't necessarily give you content to self-improve, they're hating, bro. Portnoy, all these guys, because they don't understand that men must improve to get girls. This is the reality. But now, this content, this side of the internet, we're telling guys, yo, you must self-improve. You must become a better man if you want to get girls, if you want to become the best version of yourself. It's no longer acceptable to be average, to be okay. But content creators like this are like, oh no, it's okay. You could just watch my stupid mindless content. It's fine. Be fat, be a loser.
They get richer off them. Yeah. The more men get weaker, then they spend all day watching the mindless videos.
And then Mike Majlak committed to a fucking porn star.
I talk about traditional men.
Like, are you seriously going to take someone seriously, like get like dating advice or any type of masculinity advice from a guy that went ahead and dated a girl that was banging dudes on camera? Like, what the fuck? Like, no, hell fucking no. But this is the world that we're in, guys. Like, these are guys that are supposed to be role models. These are the guys that are sitting here pointing the finger saying, you're not a good person. Meanwhile, you're videotaping dead bodies and you're over here banging fucking porn stars trying to say, oh, yeah, let me go ahead and cast a stone and judge you.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Adam 22 is married to a porn star, but at least he has a level of acceptance of it. He understands what it is. He's capitalizing off of it, but he doesn't try to get on a high ground and celebrate when somebody else gets banned.
He doesn't really bash people like that either.
He doesn't bash people. He sticks to the truth. Like Destiny was just on a show. Like, that guy's a genuine guy from what I could tell. But the reason that Logan Paul and KSI are doing this is because it really hurts when you get banned. And even Jadian, I've been having him on my stream a lot. When you get banned on a platform, you really get scared and you try to use anything you can to get the people back on your side.
I think I've seen a lot of these types of things moving in my community and other communities. I don't think I would look at this as like red pill framing at all, or like they're going after guys that do certain things. I think it's sometimes as simple as like if you watch online communities, when controversial figures fall, there is like an attitude on the internet, and everybody wants to hop on it because it's the easiest way to get clicks. It's such a virtue signal that like there will be. I guarantee you, there are people that have like never watched a single clip of Andrew Tate that have like 20 minutes on their podcast talking about how horrible he was for the world, even though they've never seen a single thing he said, because they know it'll sell with their audience. Or same thing, probably when Kevin Samuels died. I'm sure there were a lot of people making content about how harmful he was for like the black community, and they don't even know who this guy is. They've never seen it.
Dude.
Yeah, they don't even know a single thing about
Jumping
it.
for joy.
Like,
literally.
There's always, I'm sure you've probably seen it now a little bit, where when you get banned off something, motherfuckers you've never even heard of before.
On. Every single day, people call me up to be like, "Did you see that new video?" I'm like, "There's a new one every hour." I can't keep track, but I'm banned right now. I can't respond, so they all now's their opportunity, because they realize they're not as entertaining. They can't galvanize an audience like I can. They're not as funny. They're slower. They're not good at it. They're not good at content creation.
Just you get in that wave and you get all the fans and all the likes and all the validation and everything. It always is temporary, but like they'll go from wave to wave to wave to wave. But I will say the scary thing though is you got to be careful of is it would be nice to stand against the tide. You would hope people would do that, but it's real easy to get swept up in that and then get immediately destroyed afterwards. Which sometimes if you take a stand against, like, I don't know if that guy should have been banned, you become like the next target. You're like, oh, this guy loves Andrew Tate and he wants to genocide women, and you're like, oh well, fuck me, I guess. Yeah.
To be honest, pretty scary. They're looking for a scapegoat. And for example, let's say they take on Andrew, right? Who's next? And it's funny because these same people that would write for you when you're not canceled, the moment you get canceled, cast the first on. So you're right.
I'll say this. And I know, Destiny, you're saying you don't think it's like a red pill thing. I genuinely do think it is a red pill thing, and I'll tell you why. Like, anyone on this side of the internet, if you look on TikTok, if you look on YouTube or whatever it may be, they always stitch RP content creators and like, look at this, like incel, toxic, misogynist, blah, 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 using names or whatever. It's like the easiest internet punching bag to go after, right? Because, if you take a couple of sentences of what we say and you spin that out of context, you can make someone look really fucking crazy, easily, right? Yeah. And it's like, very easy to do. Go ahead, please.
So you watch a movie sometimes and the movie starts with like a guy's daughter gets kidnapped or his wife gets killed. The reason why they have those hooks is because, it's easy to identify immediately with like, oh God, I'm so sympathetic towards this character, because it hooks you into emotions that you already have. I call this webbing when I see it happen online. What people want to do sometimes is I don't actually have to know a single thing about you or attack anything you say if I can just tie you into like negative shit already. So like if I know that you're red pill and I know that Sneako's red pill, I don't know anything about you, but I know that you're on this podcast, so I can call you red pill and take you down just like I would these two guys without ever knowing a single thing about you. And a lot of people do that too when they try to. So a lot of it might get tagged as like red pill stuff, but it's literally, I think a lot of people just try to grab people, and if they can associate them with communities they don't like, that's enough.
Well,
to like
look who gets taken down though. There's a liberal agenda on every single social media platform. The people that get banned are always on this side. Your people are fine. The reason that you got banned on Twitch because you were saying some red pill shit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean that's where the culture and the media is right now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I was saying this all the time is that the people that are politically correct, and here's the thing, I get what Logan Paul and them are doing. They're trying to align themselves with the winning side, which unfortunately, when it comes to social media and and the internet in general, being liberal, right, being woke will keep you protected most of the time, right? Yeah. Because we got crazy feminists out there saying "Kill All Men" podcast still up, but if you say anything along the lines of like women need to be in the kitchen making food, sandwiches, oh, sir, you're canceled. Fucking done. Like, that's so misogynistic.
You could literally spill out a rape fantasy in live. You could post your butthole on Twitter, everything. I got banned on Twitter for challenging Lasanabi to a fight and saying, I'm going to break your face because it's violent conduct.
There you go.
Don't UFC fighters do that all the time?
Yeah.
Isn't that normal?
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Like, you're a target.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're any type of like conservative or whatever, and you're on social media, you're gonna have a target on your back automatically. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, because here's the thing, bro. Let's keep it 1,000. Like a lot of these fucking guys, like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, whatever it may be, these guys that are like, trying to be like, oh, let me
behind the scenes,
behind the scenes, bro. They're probably saying the same.
I think Jake Paul's red pill. I don't think Jake Paul thinks of the same stuff.
You gotta be. You can't operate at that level as a celebrity. You get red pilled by just being that type of guy with that kind of money and being around chicks. Like you see how they operate.
When Jake Paul, Logan Paul got accused for grape?
Yes.
Who had their back?
We did.
Our community.
Yeah.
And it's funny because
we made a video defending Jake.
The same shit they were saying was what we were saying as well. And it's like, yo, now because it's affecting you, you're going to come on our side. But the moment it doesn't suit you, you go back to your regular programming. So it's funny, bro. They hop hopscotch off and on.
We were
All the time.
we were one of the first big platforms actually
Yeah.
to defend Jake when that dumbass bimbo came out and said,
Lying.
"Oh, Jake raped me." Blah blah blah. She made a bunch of jump cuts. It was all
She's
cap.
lying.
I was like,
made a
bro,
video
this girl's
defending
lying.
that man too.
Yeah.
I defended that man too, and that's what's crazy, bro. Because like, if the red pill is speaking this truth, bro, that's who they're to Destiny's point. Like, bro, they have to come after that because that doesn't go with the mass of fake wokeness.
But you know what's scary, bro? Us as men have no platform. So what happens is, it's scary because we literally help men become better. No one else does that, bro.
Literally.
Everyone in here, on some level, helps men become better. What do? Make jokes, talk about random shit. Like,
Okay, sell porn.
Exactly.
Sell porn.
But the
and then talk about pyramid scheme.
Go ahead.
The overall thing about that, because you made a good point, bro. Their entertainment is like dumb entertainment. Like that kind of what you consume, music wise, content wise, that affects you.
Yeah.
So if they're just promoting stupid entertainment like dumb shit, and guys watch it, that's a detriment to people. Like you need to be really active with what you're intaking.
Yeah, that's what KSI is really
Music-wise,
mad.
everything, bro.
Well said.
So if
KSI's
I'm
mad.
teaching people to be greater, like how the hell you gonna freaking hate on that? But that'll be the main person, right? To get all the flags and all this crazy shit happen, bro.
The
It's
RP
ridiculous.
content on a lot of it, I said this, people got mad. I was saying like, because like obviously we're really big on self-improvement, right? And I say it like the RP, right? It's like we're waking guys up and we're the alarm clock. Like guys are waking up and we're the alarm clock, and they don't like that shit because they want you to be sleepwalking through life. They want you to watch the the mindless entertainment.
Logan
They
Paul.
want you to continue to do drugs. They want you to keep smoking pot. They want you to eat shitty ass food and not go to the gym and not understand
Antidepressants.
things and like let women walk all over you and all this other shit. But when you understand your value, well, you're not gonna let no bimbo tell you, oh well, I'm the boss and all this other shit. But the thing is that. And you guys have seen on this podcast, right? You guys have seen women come on this podcast and talk with us all the time. They sit there and say that they're equal to men, but in the reality, when we ask them what do you want in a man, they describe things that are superior to themselves. So it doesn't make sense. What women say they want, right, and what they're attracted to versus what they say are two different things. Two completely different things.
And Mike, dude, I wish we could play most of the clip, but like Mike brought up a point. Actually, you know what? Let's answer your question first because that was very important.
Oh yeah, why did Andrew actually get canceled? Yeah, good point.
So why
Good-
did
good
Andrew
question.
actually get canceled? Who wants to go first?
I think he was canceled for talking about the stuff that I got my strike for. I don't know if you want me to talk about it on this podcast right now, but the two subjects that YouTube has in the terms of service that you can look it up right now.
Give it abbreviated, not the full thing. Give like a hint.
The cough and the Biden.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
there you go. I like that.
Cough and Biden. You talk about that. You talk about the truth about what really happened, and they want to take you down because they're revealing the truth about what's going on behind the scenes. That's what the reason I really think it is.
That's a good point.
Because they talk about that
Think
stuff.
about it, right?
Yeah.
When that cough
Extensively.
happened, who's traveling the world making videos about it?
Yeah.
Saying it's
Saying
not
that
real.
you got you as a slave.
Not
Yep.
just traveling. He has a whole podcast. He has like extensive things about why it's a scam. He has extensive videos about why Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good
What
point.
about you, Destiny? What's your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I'm trying not to get triggered by the vaccine, the cough talk.
Here's what-
That's a
before you go
whole
on,
other thing.
you know what you can say? You could say whatever the you want about Trump. You could say that Trump rigged it. You could say that Trump. You could talk about Trump's family, but you can't. You couldn't talk about Hunter Biden, and you could not say
a lot of
something.
people
You know
talk about Hunter Biden.
They
That's
just
not true.
changed. I know, but they were silencing. They were saying it was misinformation. They
No.
never said that Trump's family was any misinformation about Trump's family. They let you say whatever the you want. That's true. And you know,
okay, hold on. Firstly, a lot of people can talk about Hunter Biden. One story from the New York Post got removed. It did because they had included links to leaked materials, hacked materials. They had a policy at the time for
Misinformation,
that.
right. That
But
never happened to Trump.
no, not misinformation. It was a hacked materials policy at Twitter. But not only did Twitter reinstate those articles, they actually changed the rules just for the New York Post.
Yeah.
There were left-leaning things. There were dox lists of cops and stuff that got posted to, and they were also removed for similar reasons for the hacked materials policy. So there are a lot of people that talk shit about Hunter Biden. I'm not trying to say the media is not slanted one way or another, but Twitter had its reasons for banning anything they
Definitely
did for the way they did. But I just, regardless of the Hunter Biden stuff, the thing that bothers me about the Andrew Tate thing, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, is that one, if you are going to ban somebody, at the very least, I think there needs to be like a specific rule violation. I think for big bans, I know that people don't like to do this. I think there should be some level of transparency for it because everybody's asking what's going on. I know Patreon tried this once and they got a lot of shit for it, but I actually respected them where they came out and they were saying for certain users that they banned or deplatformed, I think it was the CEO went through like the whole video of like, this is why we removed this person's content. This is why we banned them. And I was like, I respect that, even though people got mad about it.
This is for Patreon?
Yeah, Patreon did it for for Lauren Southern when she got banned from that platform. They went through like the whole video
They
and
banned
why
it from Patreon?
Yeah,
even know that was
a long
possible.
time ago. Yeah, this is like 5 years ago, I think, or like 3 or 4.
Well, you're asking this question, but then you can't even answer the question. Like, why? When I got the email from my strike, they said that you cannot say that the 2020 election that there was any misinformation. You cannot say that.
I don't know. Why? Here's the thing. I don't know.
They just changed the policy. I know, but they just changed the policy in that. 20. They didn't say anything about 2016, about 2012, about 2008. Specifically, the 2020 election and some random elections in Myanmar and in Brazil.
Well, so the rationale.
Specifically, you cannot say that this election was rigged.
Sure. The rationale right now is that obviously there's a huge crackdown on misinformation from the tech, or what they perceive to be as misinformation of the tech companies, because they're getting a lot of pressure from different entities to make that happen, right? Congress is breathing down Facebook's neck, Twitter's neck, and these guys don't want the government to step in and start regulating their shit and tell them what to do. So they're doing everything they can to kind of like show the government their, especially after the fucking Cambridge Analytica shit with Facebook. Everybody's like, what the fuck is going on your platforms? It's some crazy shit. You need to like figure this out, or we're going to step in and regulate you. So whether you agree or disagree, like they have their reasons for why they're trying to like aggressively move in certain directions.
So then answer your own question. Why do you think that he got banned on every single platform all at once?
The question for Tate, this is what I was saying, is it like, or I was curious, what was the rule that he broke? Because at the very least, like you like might disagree with the rules, but at least they can say like, well, you broke this misinformation rule about whatever. I'm curious what
they're
Tate
saying,
broke
like
the rule
basically
for.
like
That's what I'm curious
dangerous, like
Dangerous
I know
individual.
for Instagram, like he was considered like a dangerous individual. Like
yeah,
at
but
least
like,
for
is that a rule? You're not allowed to be a dangerous
They can
individual.
label anything as hate speech. Anything is dangerous. Anything is harmful. They
Yeah,
can say what they
it's
want.
a very like,
very vague.
Yeah, it's very vague, and they do that on purpose. But basically, like the official thing was like dangerous community or dangerous like organization, whatever the hell it may be. MJ, what's your thoughts on it?
Bruh, I mean, the reason why he goes against the grain. Like everything about what the man says goes against the grain, which is what Red Pill, our community is. It's about just like, coming at the forefront with how things really are low key. Because like you'll never hear, if a guy comes out here and worships women and all this kind of good stuff, right? they'll sit here and they'll promote that.
Facts.
But if you come out and say, hey, really, like, this status thing affects you, like Jake Paul, these guys, they know like status affected them to realize that, you know what, in order for me to understand these bitches, I have to like make myself better. I have to. So if Andrew Tate is coming out here like, hey, man, here's the real deal. And most people are a bunch of beta male, cuck simps. Like they're not going to fuck with that. They're not going to fuck with that. The agenda is the agenda, and because he's going against that overall and went viral for it, that's why he's gotten canceled. So,
I would say they canceled him. Obviously for going against the grain. He talked about a lot of things. He talked about the cough, and he talked about some some stuff right with the government. And then also just in general, male and female intersexual dynamics. But I would say the thing that probably was the biggest contributor was that dumbass video that surfaced where they were doing the kink thing. Right, because a lot of people actually thought he was like hitting the girl, when in reality it wasn't. It was like
it was foreplay.
It was foreplay.
But she wanted.
But this is again. I hate that I have to even repeat myself for this. But common sense, I guess, is not common because think about it. If you're gonna beat on a girl, are you gonna set up a tripod in front of your bed? She's wearing lingerie, and to Andrew's credit, he's a terrible actor. Did you listen? And he's like, raises his hand like this, bro. And I was like, what the hell? And then hits her kind of like a weak slap, right? And you could tell it's like acting. And then there's another footage came out. She's like, are you going to hit me for real this time? Blah, blah, blah. It's so obvious that it's like them foreplaying whatever, because that's what she was into. The girl came out like twice.
She made
talked about this
videos clearing his name.
And I still got bimbos to this day. Some dumb chick was DMing me. You support Andrew Tate, he beats women. And I'm just like in my head, like, you fucking bitch. But again, people don't want the truth when a lie is way more entertaining.
Yeah.
So that video, I think that video surfacing also, played a significant part in it. Then we know that other guy that did the whole petition, get me to 1 million likes so that we can get Andrew Tate banned. And I showed you guys this Instagram post. I think that, and then also the children. MJ brought up a good point. Teachers complaining, saying that he's a havoc on the kids. The kids are like emulating him and all this other stuff. Like I remember. Do you guys remember back in the 90s? Well, you probably won't remember, Sneako, because you're too young. Huh? But when DX came out, D-Generation X.
Oh, we was
Suck
all in
it!
Oh. We was
Stone
all
Cold
doing
Steve
that.
Austin. Like, I remember, bro, the teachers were terrified. Like, you would walk around school, suck it! Everybody run around, suck it! Yeah! Woo! Like, everybody was just doing this shit all the time. Like, woo!
I got my ass
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I remember it was literally wrecking havoc in the 90s. The teachers were going crazy. They're sending out letters like, if your kid does the second side, he's going to get suspended for a week. Bro, that is what Andrew Tate is doing right now with these kids. The difference, though, now is that you guys got to understand. Social media didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it was all word of mouth. Like, yeah, suck it, wrestling, WWF Attitude Era, woo. Now with social media, it basically what it's done is it snowballed people's ability to report people and to also bring awareness to something. So all these kids like Andrew Tate, and then the teachers are like, oh, well, let's look at their smartphones, and they're able to trace back what the hell's going on. Then they're actually able to see the content. Whereas like back then in the 90s, they didn't know what the fuck Suck It was. That's actually tuned in on a Monday Night Raw to figure out it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels just like telling bitches, suck it! You know what I'm saying? So they didn't know. But now with the internet and the ease of the internet, it spreads like wildfire. So that I think also contributed to it, because as soon as they could say it's contributing to dangerous things with the kids, blah, blah, blah. And we all know kids are pussified now, right?
I think something that's like really difficult to deal with, there's something called the Chinese robber fallacy.
Okay.
If I could show you like 100 Chinese people worth robbing every single day, like, would that be a bad thing? 100 Chinese people, 1,000 Chinese people every single day. And it sounds bad when you think about it, but the reality is, well, how many Chinese people are there? Right? Is 1,000 a day really that much? Is it not that much? Similar thing can be asked for cops in the United States. If I could show you one violent cop killing every single week, it seems like it would be horrible.
Yeah.
52 violent cop killings a year. But how many cops are in the United States?
Exactly.
10,000, 50,000, 500,000? You have no and there's a thing where we don't use logic when we evaluate these like discrete events, right? So if I tell somebody there's 10 bad cop killings a year in the United States and we have 10,000 cops, and they're like, okay, I understand that. I'm like, that's bad, right? Okay. Well, now let's say I tell you actually there's 10 cop killings a year, but there's 100,000 cops. Did that thing just become like 90% less bad in your head? No, it still sounds horrible.
Yeah.
People have this idea like, well, there needs to be zero. There can't be zero of anything.
Of course.
You know?
Right.
And we have this problem where we live in a huge country. We have like 340 million people here.
Yeah.
But now we have social media turned on every single thing.
Good point.
So you can put together any story you want. So people are looking at the Andrew Tate stuff and they're like, kids are saying shit in class because they've heard it on the internet. I believe that. That's probably true. Kids are saying shit all the time, though.
Yeah.
We just don't have it in front of our face constantly, dude.
Yeah.
We bully the of each other. I went to a Catholic grade school. We still bully the each other for like stupid shit. Like everybody's done this all the time. But now when you can take like, especially if I can show you like 20 clips, that's a lot of clips. If I can show you 5 clips, you're like, this is a huge fucking problem. It's like, is it a problem? Has it really changed? Are like the reports up? Or like, this is one of those things where maybe it is time to like do like a data driven thing, because watching 5 videos isn't going to tell you anything more than in the 90s where there were no videos of it at all.
And social media has made it worse, because I remember, I mean, I purposely played Eminem the way I am on today's story, because Eminem, Marilyn Manson, etc. These guys were all blamed for the Columbine shooting, which again, Sneako wasn't alive when that happened. But
I'm all on the line.
But yeah, for us older individuals,
who that is, bro?
yeah. Like I said, hey, I don't know who that is. Oh God. Okay, but again, this was before social media, etc. So violent video games, Grand Theft Auto, I remember was getting the blame for it, etc.
That was back when it was the top down game. You couldn't even see what was going on.
You couldn't even see what the hell was going on.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But what I've noticed in general is that in society, we always need a scapegoat to blame for our inadequacies. The reality is it really Eminem and Marilyn Manson's fault that, you know, Columbine happened, or is it just bad parents not having their guns locked up? But we always want to skirt accountability. You know what I mean? And that's the reality.
Well, who destroyed the family?
Yeah, I think it's bigger than just bad parents. I think you're simplifying the bigger issue.
Yeah, I'm grossly simplifying it. But what I'm saying is that we always want to go ahead and point at entertainment. We want to point at social media. We want to point at other people for us just being shitty fucking parents or not taking accountability. Oh, my kid is saying crazy shit because of Andrew Tate, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh my God, my kid's running around saying suck it because of Triple H and that. We need a bad wrestling, all this other shit. And it's like, yo, where are the fucking parents?
What about the most recent example of school shootings? They play on Call of Duty. I'm like, bro, it's a game. If your kid decides to go shoot somebody, that's a parenting issue as well.
Yeah.
My thing is with this whole like Andrew Tate ban. Think about it. Right now in this society, we're led to believe that we have free speech, which we do.
No, we don't.
Oh, no, we do. However,
with consequences,
not on social media. The problem is that like these platforms, right? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they're all in alignment with an agenda. Now, here's the explanation. It's their house. If I follow their rules, I get to say it in their house. If I don't follow their rules, I get kicked out. Andrew Tate, did he break any rules? In my opinion, no. But he did in a way, because his rhetoric, his lingo, his language was being influenced and spread out to a bunch of kids. Now, I blame the Aiden Ross stream, because that stream has a bunch of young kids. Almost 100K plus people watching that show. Most of them are kids. That exposure, bro, took Andrew Tate's content from adult content to kid content. Now, It's in school. It's in people's summer homes. All that. Now that type of content that we have that we, as adults we can process and handle, we can understand it. But them, bro, it's like, oh shit, Top G, get in the kitchen. It's like, bro, look at our phone with it.
Yeah,
as kids. So I get that part, but at the same time, his influence. He didn't know it had that reach. I mean, he just got on the internet. So it's like, he knew.
But another thing too. Go ahead, Destiny, please.
Real quick,
Yeah, no,
something
please.
I'll say as a parent, because I can do that. One thing that I will say, I'll be empathetic on the parent side, is that it is really hard to control like what your kids see today. Like 20 years ago, like, you know, whoa, what is your kid looking at? That was valid. I don't know how many people, if there's a self-report, I don't know if anybody's like jerked off to like the HBO and Showtime when it's all fucking blurred out on the TV when you're trying to get like one kitty to come through because you sneaked downstairs.
Just way back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the day.
showing his age right now.
Way back in the day. But
BET
that was the only way you could get fucking porn.
Yeah.
It's like for like 1 second, the frame will be there and But nowadays, every kid is like fucking plugged in to 50 trillion sites simultaneously across like 52 different devices. I will say I am a little bit more sympathetic towards parents today, where it's like, if I leave my kid upstairs and, you know, maybe you have cable TV and that's it. Like, you know, maybe he stole like a Target lingerie magazine to jerk off to, but he's not getting into some crazy shit. But nowadays, it's hard to do parental controls across
So why not
every
just not
single
give your kid a
device.
smartphone?
You could do that, but like there's a lot of pressure as a parent because all of his friends have smartphones, and that's like the expectation too.
No matter what. I was the last kid in my school to get a smartphone.
Sure, but it's a harder environment when like before nobody had smartphones. Now if every kid but yours has smartphones, now you feel like a shitty parent. Your kid's complaining all the time. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you can complain. He can look at other people's smartphones too. Like there's all sorts of shit going on.
We're just way too you know, we're way too willing to blame others for not, you know, doing what we're supposed to do. Like, I think, listen, your kid's going to be exposed to it anyway, right? So like, let them know, hey, listen, bro, this content, okay, you watch it, like, this is what is real, this is what's not real, this is what's appropriate, this is what's not appropriate. And you got to sit your kid down and like kind of let them know the realities of how things go. I mean, I remember with wrestling, right? Like, my parents couldn't keep me from watching it or whatever it is, so they just let me know, okay, listen, this is fake, this is appropriate, this isn't appropriate, etc. Can't be powerbombing girls through tables. That's not how the world works, right? And I was like, okay, cool, all right, I'm not gonna rock bottom my sister through the fucking couch or some shit like that. I won't do it. But you know, I think that's where parenting has got to kind of come in to circumvent like crazy content they might see. And I would say in today's day and age, like you even more so with the internet ease. Go ahead, yes,
Okay, bro.
Please.
Like what you said with the parenting, it is accountability, because like I remember my first GTA game, and like when I got San Andreas, hey, they was like, listen, we gonna get this game for you, right? But don't be shooting niggas like CJ. Like it was that kind of vibe. Like don't be pulling, don't be doing no crazy stuff. So it was an understanding, and like, bro, you got to take accountability as parents. That's one end, and then also because the only thing I will give you, Destiny, is because the attention span of all these kids is so super short. Yeah, and then on top of that is okay. Well, they're taking these clips. Who's the first putting these clips out? Because if that person, remember the guy who was like, get first to 1 million likes or whatever, ban Andrew Tate.
That dude,
he's the one that puts out that narrative first, everybody's jumping on that first. So who's getting there first?
That is 100% true. People will approach me sometimes and they'll go like, can you defend this? And they'll show me like a 15-second clip of me and I'll be like, I can't defend that. I can't defend anything I said there because I don't make 15-second videos. Okay. If you're watching a 20-second video of me, go talk to the motherfucker that made the video and ask them. If you want to see the 2-hour conversation this came from, at least like watch like 5 minutes earlier and 5 minutes after. But don't come at me and ask me to defend a 15-second clip. Like you could 15-second clip anything in my life and I'm going to look like a fucking demon.
And that's what sucks about making like longer form content. If you do any type of podcasting or whatever it may be, like, dude, they're gonna clip your stuff and make it look crazy. And if you make content that's like conservative anyway or controversial, they're definitely gonna clip it and put it on TikTok and make it look crazy.
One more thing with Andrew. So add to his influence of kids and then what he's saying, now put all the context and add music, slow it down, make it faster, turn the song even more aggressive or more manly. Now with those edits, and the propaganda, the petition, like you said earlier, bro, he looks like
it was a concentrated, it was a concentrated effort to make him look crazy.
Like a bad person. I was like, bro, stop.
It reminds me when they tried to do Joe Rogan with the N-word stuff. That came out of nowhere, like the compilation shit.
Together, it looks really bad. So social media is a blessing and also a curse at the same time because they can make you look bad or really good.
So is it really fair to blame him for having an influence on kids that could be negative?
No.
At the same I thought you were making that point that oh, he was on Aiden Ross and he's influencing these kids. Because at the same time, like look at what people think is okay and what people think is not okay. The same teachers who are saying like their kids are yelling to get girls in the kitchen are putting like pride flags up in the school, are like telling them about gender fluidity at like a 10-year-old age now. But that's what they push. That's what the teachers are pushing.
What did I say earlier? The agenda is going this way. Andrew's message and influence was going that way. So you know what? To make him look like the villain, let's create this image of him, the bad person, hits women, and has a negative impact for violence for kids.
Oh, not only that, like they used a lot of his older clips from Tate's speech, like the one about like not giving CPR because it's like gay or whatever. That's a joke.
It's a joke.
But they're obviously gonna and Mike Madge, like, by the way, like use that like bro, it's clearly a joke. And the thing also, just to call Mike out, dude, he had said, oh, the top G, man, I like his content, blah blah blah. And then as soon as he gets canceled, oh, let's switch it up and like start attacking him. And KSI said this shit too, which is why I can't respect KSI and I can't respect Mike, because when Andrew Tate was doing the full send and he was popping, these niggas were all over like, I like Andrew Tate, blah blah blah. As soon as he gets canceled, they switch their fucking shit up, blah blah blah. And this is what I mean when I tell you guys a lot of the time, these YouTubers are fucking frauds a lot of the times, bro.
They follow the Twitter replies.
Mike is a person that changed himself. Drug addict, cheating people out, selling stuff, and now look at where he is today. So you want to talk about empathy and change?
Where's it at?
You of all people should have that. Now, added to that as well, Mike, you're not the father.
Oh yeah. Oh, he hopped.
Well, I mean, we know that. I mean, she got pregnant. I
think it was a basketball player.
Yeah, I think it was a basketball player too. But again, like these guys,
know if he was in the red pill.
Yeah, these guys aren't necessarily perfect individuals themselves. So for them to sit there and say you're not a good person, blah blah blah, and all this other fuck shit, it's like, bro, y'all are not perfect yourselves. And to be honest with you, Andrew's a better role model than both you guys. Sheesh. He's accomplished more than you guys. He's done more than you guys. He's a self-made millionaire. He made the money before social media. He did it from, the cam industry. Let me address that too, because Mike was trying to say, well, you're teaching masculinity and traditional values, yet you made your first million with a cam, whatever. Okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and address this right now. Guys, let me let you know something. Most men are simps. Okay, now there's two types of people. There are guys out there that are going to exploit simps, and then there are guys out there that are going to make fun of simps. Us, we make fun of simps, but I'm not going to knock someone for exploiting simps, because let me tell y'all something. Simps are going to simp no matter what the you do.
They can do it anyway.
And unfortunately, guys, most men are simps. I would argue 90% plus of men are simps. What do I mean by this? They are totally okay with giving women attention. They're totally okay with giving women attention, validation, resource, etc., with nothing in return. So many guys are in a friend zone with women are okay with it. So my thing is this: Andrew saw a business opportunity. Guys are gonna wank their dick anyway, no matter what. Cool. You know what? Wank it to my fucking girls.
And the difference between Tate starting a webcam business and KSI and Mike selling porn to kids is that they have an audience. They have an audience that looks up to them, and they are directly selling it to people that look up to you.
Facts.
Tate is just like, part of the game.
He wasn't on YouTube. Here's the thing.
He didn't have an influence.
He didn't have an influence.
He got rich doing it.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. People are calling me a dick rider because I'm saying it's different things. KSI stands for knowledge, strength, and integrity. And when he got called out for saying thank God Andrew Tate got banned, well, you know what he said afterwards? I was trolling. I copy and pasted it. You don't copy and paste a fucking 5-word tweet. You typed it up. You did exactly what everyone else is doing. You were following the Twitter replies. And before he was banned, you were on dick too.
Yeah.
It's so hypocritical and also the fact that they say dick rider. But aren't you on the woke side? They use homophobic insults.
Listen,
to come at the red pill people. Do you see the hypocrisy there? Why is dick rider a bad thing? I thought you were woke.
I'm a huge supporter, or I was, of KSI, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, because you know what? They've been through some shit and they got through it and they came back stronger and better.
We defended them.
At the same time, as men, somebody's down right now. He's down. He's out. So while he's down, you're going to kick him even more? My thing is, look, at the same time, look, it's up. Maybe what he said on some cases, for you, that might be up. For us, we understand what it is. We're just saying, look, at the end of the day, people change, people need to improve. At least give them a voice.
Bro, let some fucking bimbo from LA go ahead and make an allegation against Logan. Those same people that he's trying to appeal to right now, that he's trying to appease, saying Andrew Tate is a fucking they're gonna fucking come. I say this shit all the time. The left always comes back and eats its fucking self, bro. They're gonna turn on him like this, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, Logan, he's a rapist, blah blah blah. And there'll be no fucking proof. There won't be a shred of evidence, and they're gonna go ahead and drag him. They did the same thing to Jake when they were doing that dumb shit. We made a podcast immediately. This bitch is cap, blah blah blah. We broke down the video, etc. I don't care if some, and here's the thing, even though I don't like what Logan did or KSI did with, with the snake shit, if some chick went ahead and accused them or whatever, I'll look at everything. And if I think it's bullshit, I'm still going to do a stream and defend them, because at the end of the day, false allegations are fucking bullshit. And these bitches are getting away with it way too often. It's ridiculous.
Facts. Right.
You know? So, did anybody else have
some chats first? And then,
oh, shit. Yeah, chats.
Real quick.
Yeah, and we got already 15,000 y'all in here. So, guys, do me a quick favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then more importantly, go ahead and subscribe to Sneako, right? Before he gets banned.
Come on, man.
Subscribe to Destiny. And then also subscribe to MJGetRight. All their channels are in the description below, guys. Check them out. All great content creators. He's not a good man is the who hurt you for guys who have no counter argument to facts that challenges their egos. Absolutely.
Rational Meal.
Shout out to Rollo Tomasi, by the way.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Did you squash it?
Destiny, would you still debate Rollo Tomasi?
No, he'll never debate me.
Never?
Pussy.
Oh, shit. Cash.
He like makes like 3 videos on me. He's like, I don't have time. I don't want to talk to him. He's got like a fucking chart of like logical fallacies. That guy.
Damn.
Shout out to Rollo.
It's funny dude though.
Well, Rollo, text me if you want. We could do one here in person. If you want,
that'd be a lot of fun.
Do it. Yeah,
absolutely.
I tried reading that book. It was a little bit.
And I would. We'd moderate and we'd have it. I'd be happy to do that. And Rollo Tomasi's a good man. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Don't you think that book is a little bit obvious?
Y'all get along, huh?
You don't think the book is a little bit like a lot of obvious stuff for the most part? Like it's good for.
Here's the thing. So a lot of guys don't know it though, man.
I'll say this, right? I didn't read the book personally, but for guys that don't know what to do or why they do what they do, it makes sense. So, for example,
how do you know?
Huh?
How do you know it makes sense?
Because we read all the time here on the podcast. So, for example,
so you have read it?
No, as in like he'll read like
I quote it all the time. Shout out to Rollo Tomasi.
For a guy that doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing, it makes sense. You know what? Now I understand why I do what I do.
It connected, like for me, like coming from a Muslim background, I already had a lot of this awareness, but the book connected a lot of dots for me. Right. It explained a lot of things. It gave terms for things that I didn't understand. I was like, okay, I knew about this, but okay, now this makes sense. Now I'm able to like fully connect the dots. I could see, you know what I mean? And like it made things less ambiguous.
That was what red pilled you.
What was that?
That was what red pilled you.
I mean, I was red pill wearing college, bro. That's what really like, but it connected the dots for me.
That red pilled you, that book?
No. I'm just saying personal experiences will red pill you the most.
Exactly, personal experience.
And then it, like you get the personal experiences, and then like for me, luckily I had the Muslim background, which Islam in itself is a pretty base religion. And then my personal experiences along with
how do you feel about that?
No, they are. I love Islam. Oh, Muslims. I see you did there. Inshallah.
You know, you're gonna start shooting. Just let me pull back first. Okay, I don't know what you guys are.
My background, along with reading, listening to an audible, like connected a lot of things for me. So I was like, oh, this is so for me. It was fantastic. You know, shout out to Rollo Tomasi. I think I suggest every single guy.
We gotta remember,
listen to that.
Not everyone is on our level. So they have to learn somewhere.
Yeah, they have to learn. Yeah,
everybody's at different stages.
Exactly.
Bro. That's when you make the content, bro. Like I'll have guys that are like, bro, I've red pilled to death, bro. I've been watching you 4 years, bro, and I'm like, great, but it's still guys that are just getting introduced. Just like every year, there's a new cycle of fresh, new, young coochie. Great, it's a new cycle of beta male simps that need to get woke up. So it's different levels to it.
Yeah,
bro.
Absolutely. And then I would say like the more experience you have, right, the faster the book is going to come to you. But like if you don't have experience with women, it's going to be very difficult for you to like take what the book tells you and you don't have any experience to contrast it with. Yeah. But if you have the experiences, you see girls curving, you see all this other fuck shit, and you're like, what the hell? Why? Then that book explains it for you.
It's like theory with no action.
Yeah. So I suggest every guy go get it, man. So shout out to Rollo Tomasi. Go get the book, The Rational Male. I think it's a fantastic read for any guy that wants to understand female nature, or it'll connect dots for you if you are aware to a degree. Mr. Pink goes, Destiny, what do you deeply think about the people that are really in charge of the Western countries? Do you think they care about the struggle of the lower 80% of the world population?
That's a big question. Lower 80% of the world population. Are we talking about like the world economy or
normies?
Hey, this is a question for you, nigga.
This is always my point. Okay, people think that we kind of argued about this off screen or off stream earlier. People have this idea that like the government is smart enough or sophisticated enough to control like the thoughts and opinions of the population. I think it's a feedback loop. It's like a mirror. People think a certain thing, then the government kind of reflects it, and then they can push us in a little bit of a way. We can push them in a little bit of a way. And I think we kind of move like that. I think that every now and then the government might try to push too hard and you lose track of things, but it doesn't have the ability to control the population as well as like people on the left would like it to be able to, and as well as people on the right think it does. And I think that's why sometimes you run into these events where you get people like Donald Trump gets elected. And the reason why is because I think that lawmakers kind of lost track of where the population was. And Trump was somebody that came up and he had an opportunity to be like, hey, I think you're missing a lot more than you think. And people in government are like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, oh, well, looks like you were because you got elected president and everybody thought it was impossible. So yeah, I think people have this.
Shocking.
The government wishes they could control every individual thought, action, or just like general cultural trends as much as they can. But I think it's kind of like this ebb and flow and this push and pull. And sometimes the government pushes us, sometimes the people push us. And I think it's more sophisticated. It's more complicated than just like the government can dictate policy top down.
Would you agree that if someone is in need of something, they'll ask for help?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. That's a complicated question.
Because I'm just saying, I get what you're saying with the government. Maybe they can't push all the way, but the movies, the news, what we see in our daily lives, that's the push in a direction.
It's influence.
So here, this is what I say. Okay, people will look at like biased media, for instance, and they'll say like the media is corrupting us. Bullshit. I think people want biased media. I think that's the issue. And the problem is that like people will get up and they'll start blaming like the government or they'll blame the media, but it's because ironically, kind of what you guys say, it's because they don't want to take responsibility themselves, right? I could do a stream where I shit on some crazy communist dude for 2 hours, or where I go and like try to bash some red pill dude for 2 hours, or I could do like a 2-hour stream where we just read through like studies on like vaccines or something. Really dry, really boring, really educational. Nobody's going to watch that third stream. Nobody gives a fuck. They want to see the fighting. They want to see the action. They want to go like, there's a reason why when you look at these guys, you know, like Lasanabi or H3H3 or any of these guys, when you look at these guys, there's a reason why they're bots. Okay, it's because everybody wants the same programming. You don't want to go and watch somebody to like challenge your opinions or to like make you have to kind of rethink or reconsider things, because it's kind of like uncomfortable. You do want somebody to show up where you can kind of join a community and you're all kind of on the same page. And rather than you going to like a classroom where you might be critically challenged by a teacher, you want to kind of go to church where you've got like a dude preaching to you and you're all kind of already in agreement. I think that's what people look for mostly. Okay. So yeah, I think people are keen to blame the government, but I think people want.
But why are people so mentally weak now?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you say by mentally weak. Like in some ways, we're mentally weak.
Why are people not able to have conversation? Why are people afraid of debate? Why are people afraid to even disagree? They can't do it.
They're asleep.
It's the problem is it's always fucking complicated.
People always asleep. Like I'm like,
so here's the issue. So we say that like people are weak today, and to some extent that's probably true a little bit. But in the past, our mindset on like what it meant to be strong was up. We get like these soldiers coming back and it's like, suck it up. Nobody wants to report any like depression or PTSD or anything like that. And then people are killing themselves at these huge rates because like men aren't supposed to be weak. Men aren't supposed to have emotions. And then these guys come back from war and they either have cancer because they're breathing in fire from smoke pits. I think in Afghanistan and Iraq, they just burn like tires and all the trash and shit. People get cancer and stuff. You get people that come back and just commit suicide. And it's up. And like men can't like deal with these emotional problems at all without, you know, being told to suck it up. So yeah, I mean, like today are we pretty mentally weak? I think so. But in the past, sometimes we've like demanded people be like way too mentally resilient. Like,
that's true, but it's going too far now. Like Ethan Decline, I used to look up to him as a kid, and now he's on like calling me all these names on his videos and stuff like that, saying my soul is empty, stuff like that. This is a guy that I used to look up to, and I say that because before social media really got a chokehold on everybody's mental like it does now, he used to be like in the middle, making fun of both sides, actually funny. He was active, stuff like that, and I've seen him succumb to the Twitter cancel culture. Well, don't you think that that's programming in and of itself, that's a result? That's why people are weak, is because there's an active agenda to make people dumber?
Okay, so here's the issue. The problem is that if you go through a lot of fucked up shit as a kid, 1 out of 100 people will come out an amazing person, and 99 out of 100 people will be destroyed. But we only see the 1 out of 100 that make it, right? So people notice us like, okay, well, we need to do something to like control for the amount of adversity that people like face as children. But the problem is people have this idea that adversity is bad, and that is just as destructive as too much adversity, because you don't learn how to cope with or deal with any problems in life. But the problem is that adversity isn't bad, and even stress isn't bad. There's a really interesting book on this called The Power of Stress. I don't remember what it is, but basically what it talks about is like people always think that stress is bad. That's not true. Stress that you don't have the tools to deal with is bad. And I'm sure you guys have all felt this in this world, that every now and then there might be like a Reddit thread or a Twitter shit, something goes on and you kind of feel like shit, and it's like fuck, and there's nothing you can do about it. You get a little anxious or whatever. But there's a lot of stress that's like really good, like moves you forward. You've got a deadline, you've got like, you're doing bigger numbers, you're like yeah, and that kind of stress is really powerful, right? I've always felt like stress is good in my life because it's a motivator for me. But it's a motivator because I have the tools to deal with it. And those tools are really important to develop in children. But what we started to do is we basically said, if you have any adversity at all, it's bad. So instead of teaching how to deal with adversity or removing the really up adversity, we're going to take all the adversity away and make it so that you're incapable of navigating a world that's not hand tailored to every fucking conceivable problem that you might have.
So who spread that idea? Was it the people or was it the government?
It's both. It's always a give and pull. The government is well. I don't know. You guys think? I think the government is elected by the people, and they get put there, and then eventually.
And let me say this too, real quick, as a former government employee, you guys give the government way too much credit. Guys, I was a former special agent with Homeland Security, man. Most government employees are fucking stupid.
I'm not talking about that. I guess the government is not the right word, or the agenda. The people at
but here's the thing: the agenda and the government are two different things. Like in the government, guys, I'll be honest with y'all. A lot of people in the government are extremely conservative. A lot of people that work for the government, so they tend to swing more right.
I think I get what you're saying. The government visible,
especially law enforcement.
The government that's not visible is the one I'm talking about right now. The one that you don't see in the shadows. They ain't stupid. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
But those guys aren't government employees. Government employees don't get paid shit, man. We're talking about the lobbyists and the people the Bill Gates and all these lobbyists.
The people at the islands touching kids doing satanic rituals like Bill Gates.
Those guys aren't government employees, is what I'm trying to say.
But okay, I'm not trying to say government. Those people, do you think that they are actively trying to make people weaker and make people dumber? Yes or no?
I think they're not even. Everything is working in tandem, man. I think there's so many different things. Like there's so many things at play. Obviously you got the government, you got people being more liberal. I would say a combination between people just being soft in general, not exercising critical thought, people being stupider. Right, social media has made people stupider. Yes. I can't tell you how many times I've I've had conversations with people. I'm just like, you're fucking retarded, especially down here in South Florida. But
people have whole personalities developed by TikTok.
It's ridiculous, dude. And how many times have we brought college girls on this show and they're fucking stupid, like incredibly stupid, master's degree, PhD, still retarded. Bruh. So yeah,
who the hell, Sneako? I seen your last podcast here. Who are the two twin girls that were
Zan 1 and Zan 2?
When I was listening, you were there too, right? Oh, yeah. When I was listening to them, I was like, bruh, it literally sounded like these hoes came out of American Pie. Like dead
ass. Real humans.
We woke up today and we went to the pool and it was cool.
You remember the 3 countries? I asked them
it's like, what the fuck?
I asked them to name 3 countries. They said Cancun and Puerto Rico. And they didn't. In Africa.
They named the city. I was like, who the f is going to correct them? And Sneako just looking like, waiting for them to catch themselves.
Yeah, man. So I would say it's a bunch of different things. It's very difficult. I agree with Destiny. It's very difficult to point to one thing, but everything works in tandem, right? So like people are soft in general. So since people are soft, they elect this, officials that go ahead and push the soft agenda. Oh, Biden's going to allow us to like not take accountability for our student loan debt. Let's vote for him. So it all works together. Is my thing.
This is also really important.
It's a multivariate issue.
Yeah, people need to understand this, and the right and left. Nobody gets this. Okay, you have to think that the other person is genuinely doing what they think is best for the world. Because as soon as you start getting this mindset that somebody's trying to like corrupt or poison society, you've lost the plot, and you have lost your ability to like understand.
You're saying stay in the matrix.
I'm saying no. What I'm saying is that like people on the right will look at people on the left and go, "You're trying to weaken men. You're trying to fucking
I'm not even
blah,
a right
blah, 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 blah." I'm not saying you're right. I don't know why you would identify. I'm just saying people on the right say this shit. They'll say this shit, but the reality is people on the left probably are thinking like, you know what? I think that if people were more sensitive, more emotional, we'd have a better society. It's coming from a place of compassion. Whether you believe it or not, it is. And that's important to recognize real quick. People on the left will do the same with people on the right. They'll say, oh, you want women to stay home. You fucking hate women. You want to be slaves. Not really. They just think they're happier there. They think they're better there. Generally, I think most people on the planet are like 97% aligned with most morals. But the way that we come at it is so different. We misinterpret the other side. We think they're coming from a place of hate.
You said there?
What?
That's the most accurate thing you said all night. Because you know why? People at the top think they're doing the best thing for us because they're in control. That's right, bro. It's right.
I think they have malicious intent.
Nah. They're
having rituals on islands, touching kids. And
understand, right? They're better than you in their head. So you know what? I'm gonna make choices for you because you're beneath me. He's right.
But 100%. that's not having our best interest in mind. The thing is, how can we manipulate these bots to make more money?
That means I am over you. So whatever I decide for you is better for you.
Yeah, but what if they're just trying to keep money in house and just
these guys propagate
that for generations like they always do?
They're so rich. I wish you're a billionaire. I think these guys have enough money that I don't think they're.
Greed is a disease.
You don't think they're trying to?
They want as much. They want all the money.
Elon Musk trying to go to Mars, ain't he?
Here's what I think.
How much money do you need, bro? Like for real, bro. How much money do you need, bro? I need to get a spaceship. Like, nigga, come on, relax, bro.
I think people like influence. Something interesting I noticed with Andrew Tate is the guy's probably pretty wealthy. I think he over-exaggerates how much money he has, but he's definitely wealthy. I know that.
He was a millionaire before the social media fame.
But I think that once you have a taste of having influence, of having the ear of thousands of people, I think even somebody like Andrew Tate is like, that feels really good. If it can feel better to have 150,000 people listening to what you're saying than to make 150,000 in a day.
We get messages from people all the time that are like multimillionaires, but no one knows who the fuck they are.
Exactly,
and they want to come on the pod and get clout.
And you'll see like B-list celebrities or even A-list celebrities sometimes they'll hop on a stream and do some shit and they'll get like 5,000, 10,000 people watching, but not even as much as some of like the online people like what we do. And I think people want to buy into that.
Yeah, people like influence.
So I met a couple of billionaires here in Miami, right? And some millionaires too. And you know what's a common theme? They have money, but they're bored as fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? How do I get clout and status to be like you? Yeah. And I'm like, you want to be like me, but you got all this money. You know what? They're bored, bro. They're really bored. So I would just say this: money is not enough. They need to have some type of like actual
legacy
fun and legacy. So for them, ain't about the money, bro. It's about, okay, how can I conquer, have control, have more influence?
Yeah. Sorry, you got something, MJ?
But Destiny, let me ask you this, bro. Because did you just say like 97% of the population is like morally in check?
I think so.
You honestly think
that's not true at all?
I don't believe that. Not 97%, bro.
I'll look at like Islamic people and Christians fighting, and it's like, bro, you guys agree on like almost everything, but like the way that you worship or like the exact
very
like
similar.
Christians will look at like Muslims and be like, man, you guys are wearing your jobs and shit. That's fucked up. You're so oppressive. And then they'll look over like a woman in a short skirt and be like, you fucking slut. You need to get stoned. Like, damn, what the fuck are you talking about? You guys are like radical. They'll be like, so I really do. Here's what I think. I think it's important to have this foundation. I feel really strongly about this. Everybody wants to do good by everybody else. They just have different ideas of how to do it. I think that once you get into the mindset that somebody's genuinely like an evil person, there are evil people. They're very, very, very rare.
No, I see what Destiny's saying. Destiny's saying 97%. So Destiny's saying basically that most people have good intent in what they think. Like, for example, Bill Gates, right? Depopulation. In his head, he thinks that's really the way to go.
Better world.
And he thinks it's going to lead to a better world. He might be wrong in it, but he thinks in his head that that's really going to help. So I get where Destiny's coming from, where like people do have good intent. They just might be completely oblivious of reality about what people really need versus what's going on, right? Like what people really need versus like what they think.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's like when I come from.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I have a really big Catholic background, so I understand like the religious perspective on like men and women. When people on the left want to attack conservatives, say, "Oh, you hate women. That's why you want them in the house. You hate women. That's why you blah blah blah." It's like that. The thoughts on women from Christian people, those don't come from a place of hatred, right? They come from a place of like compassion and love and understanding that they have a different view of what a household should look like and what a man's role in life should be and what a woman's role in life should be.
Right,
but it's not because they all fucking hate women. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. And then they would argue, they look at the other end. It's like, you want women to go into the workplace, put off having kids to your 30, be miserable. They would say,
I agree with you though that like there are definitely like people that are evil. I mean, maybe it's a little bit less than maybe there's more evil people than we think. Maybe it's like 90-10.
That's what I'm. But like, at the very least, it's not 3% of evil
there's
people. Like,
bad people out there, but I'll just end with this.
Yeah.
So I want to how to put this. So let's say, for example, right, God and the actual Satan himself. Why did Satan go against God? Because he thought he knew better than God. He could do it better. But in his way of thinking, you know what? It's the right way to go. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, those people at the top, they know better than us.
Yeah, but they might be like Bill Gates is so unaware. Like someone talked about this. Like someone threw like an egg or something at him when he was in public one time, and his reaction when he got hit was like, "Oh my god!" Like it's like very obvious that he hasn't dealt with confrontation from people in a very, very long time, probably decades at this point. So he was like shocked, and that goes to show you like his reaction to being heckled and or harassed to a degree. As a, pretty much an A-list celebrity, worldwide famous, like his reaction tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. The guy doesn't operate in reality, which is why he probably thinks depopulation is the way to go.
I think you're giving these guys too much credit and thinking that they think they're doing the right thing. I think they actively...
No, they're still stupid. Right. Don't get me wrong.
They're still stupid. They're some of the smartest people, but they actively try to conjure evil to get the most amount of power. They try to separate human empathy so that they can control us and not feel any feelings. That's what they're doing on the island. That's why they do sacrifices on children. That's why they summon Satan, so that they can get rid of any love, any compassion they can get rid of God.
But Sneako, you got to remember, they think
that's what they do.
But Sneako,
that's not a conspiracy.
Sneako, you got to remember, you got to remember that they think it's good. I'm not saying what they're doing is good. I'm saying they think it's good, even though we know.
What are you saying? All right, Sneako, too. You don't think they do that?
I believe in conspiracy all the way. Trust me, brother. I'm on your side.
So what are you saying? All right, too.
Just trying.
But you got to admit though, bro. Some things though are just kind of like
sound crazy,
far-fetched. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying like,
how do you explain Jeffrey Epstein?
What do you mean?
Why were the most rich people all flying to this island, touching kids and doing like satanic rituals?
Because they're bored, bro.
They're bored, but why are the most powerful?
It's power control and boredom.
Guys,
sacrifice kids and like, bro. Guys,
like I said before, I'm not saying what they did was right. It was 100% wrong, but in their twisted head, they think it's right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they're still wrong. But they think they're right. They rationalize it.
I don't think so.
People that commit crimes, let me tell you, from being an investigator, people that commit crimes, a lot of the times, rationalize it in their head, in the back of their mind, so they think what they're doing is right. As a matter of fact, I'll give you guys some game right now. When I was an agent, one of the things I would always do when I would sit down with the bad guy was I would rationalize his crimes. So he'd be smuggling, 20 kilos of coke or some bullshit like that, or 1,000 pounds of weed. I'd be like, hey man, it's just weed, bro. It ain't that big a deal. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, you got to make some money. Dude was gonna pay you what, $5,000 to smuggle this shit over. You're not the top guy here. Help us out. Let's fucking figure out the guy that did it, whatever. So I would go ahead and minimize what the fuck they did, and I'd rationalize it to a degree.
So how do you rationalize Hillary Clinton keeping all the earthquake funds for themselves in the Clinton Foundation? They kept all the money, and none of it went to Haiti.
Sneako, you're missing a point. I'm not saying,
how do you rationalize that though?
I'm not saying that.
I'm asking you as a vet. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm saying, like, as a vet, you're thinking of them. How are the Clintons like thinking that that's the right thing to do, to keep all the money and lie?
Because they're going to say some bullshit like, we're doing it for the country, national security. Like, the criminals always find a way, and I'm telling you from interviewing hundreds of thousands of them at this point, like, they always find a way to justify their criminal behavior to some degree, and it's your job as an investigator to come in, interview them, and mitigate what they did, minimize it to a degree, and let them know, like, yo, I get why you did it. It's not that big a deal. And you play into that emotional empathy on their side, and then that's how you get them to talk to you and tell you.
What about people who perform satanic rituals?
Same thing. They believe.
I never interviewed a Satanist, so I don't know.
Thing. You know what? Who here watches anime? You watch anime, right?
No,
I've watched anime. DBZ, Pokemon.
I've seen.
What's the common theme? The villain thinks, you know what? The world's fucked up. I'm going to change it for the better. And they do evil, but in their eyes,
they think it's good.
I'm doing good. Same thing here, bro. People on the planet that have money, they're bored out. They want power control.
Yeah.
You know what? I believe this right way for the world to go. I have power influence. I'm gonna make it happen.
Every single person.
They're still wrong, Sneako. They're still pieces of shit. Don't get it twisted. But I'm saying that they have to rationalize it in their head, as that's what criminals do. They have to rationalize what they're doing. I'm just smuggling this dope so I can feed my family. Oh, I'm just like, holding on to this kiddie porn because if I don't do it, someone else is gonna do it. Oh, I'm just like, exporting arms so that these people don't die from the cartel wars. Like, they always find a way to rationalize their criminal behavior.
Just real quick, Satanists, occultists, witches, bad people, they actually believe
that it's the right thing.
That's the right thing. However, this mindset and this methodology, right, will bring about the Antichrist, because they believe if I bring the Antichrist to Earth, I'm saving Earth. But is it the wrong thing to do? Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah,
but to them it's right.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has this issue where they don't. Or you were going to say, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, MJ.
Bro, to that point, like that's where I understand you. Where you mean, hey, most people are morally in check, but he's selling dope. But yeah, that's wrong. But he's providing for his family. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, but then we talk about, hey, Bill Gates depopulation or whatever. Well, I'll just sacrifice the majority for the few. It's like, nah, I can't ride with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But to him, it's right though.
To him, it's right. All we're saying is, in their mind,
that's what I'm saying.
It's right. I think, like, I agree. He's retarded, but in his head, he's like, I'm a genius. I know what I'm doing is right. Same thing with criminals. Like, a lot of these elites that do the stupid shit that they do it because they think it's the right thing to do, even though it's grossly wrong. But it comes back to them being unaware of how the masses really operate.
Attack on Titan, Aaron Yeager, you're rumbling.
Yeah.
That nigga killed the whole population. Wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's because he thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. I'm not justifying. I'm just saying, like, that's
saying, bro.
These crooks, these weirdos, these even these satanic individuals, in their head, they are able to justify. It's human nature. Like, no one wants to be the bad guy. Everyone does the stupid shit that they do, and they do it, and then in the back of their mind, they're like, I'm doing this for a greater cause.
Everybody has a really hard time.
Justify the means.
Yeah. Everybody has a really hard time understanding that. But for every human being, except for genuine psychopaths, of which are very, very few people, everybody's the good guy in their own narrative.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really hard to accept negative things about yourself.
The Unabomber. I'll give you an example. I broke down his case. Ted Kaczynski. He was sending bombs through the mail, killing people. In his head, he was like, "This is a big part of a bigger, greater good because technology is bad and it's hurting the human evolution, et cetera, et cetera." But this is how people do it. Like, criminals and weirdos and people that are doing things that are immoral or wrong. They have to justify somehow, and it's actually an interview technique. So if you guys ever get caught with a crime and they try to tell you, "Hey, it's not that big a deal," blah 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 blah, just say, "I want a lawyer." All right. All right. So we'll go out to the super chat.
Some chats here.
Yo, guys, like the video. We got 17K y'all in here watching right now. Go and subscribe to Destiny, Sneako, and Sneako. Enjoy him while you can before he gets banned on YouTube.
Stop manifesting that.
and then also subscribe to MJGetRight, guys. All the YouTubes are below.
I saw a quote, and it was a meme as well. It said, Sneako versus Sneako. That's the worst enemy yourself.
Because I'm trying to speak truth.
Yes.
No, it's
That's
because
how
you're
it be,
fighting with
bro.
too many people at the same time. That's the issue.
It's a lot.
Nah, I'm only fighting with one specific group of people, but there's a lot of people who get distracted and they don't like hearing the truth, so they attack me instead of that bigger problem.
Facts. No,
Very
bro.
true.
You say you be yo. Again, I say all the time. These weird liberals, they stress tolerance, but the reality is they're not tolerant
At
whatsoever
all.
fucking ever, bro.
They don't care.
Destiny, how do you not know that maybe they all have the resource to know exactly how to read people and are using it against the right, and they pretty much have the supreme dream team?
I mean, you can see like U.S. foreign policy even is like held captive by American public opinion, right? Like we pulled out of Vietnam because of protests in college. You know, how we deal with stuff overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan is held captive by public opinion in the U.S. Like, I mean,
Is that really why we pulled out of Vietnam?
Yeah, there were massive protests, super unpopular.
You think that's why the government decided to leave?
The term draft dodgers came from Vietnam.
That's another thing too. People look at like college kids saying like college kids are extreme. Or college kids have always been extreme. You know, today they have social media, so they get way too much
They're
reinforcement
able
about
to,
it.
they're able to like before. If you were a draft dodger, like you kind of did that shit in private. You know what I mean? But like now, it's like if you can burn the American flag on Instagram Live, and people are gonna be like, yeah, f- the police.
Boo at a U.S. soldier coming back.
Or we were more.
You could boo at a U.S. soldier.
Yeah, which I
coming
think
back
is
and make fun of it.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
And you still think 97% of people are good people? They're making fun of people serving the country.
Yeah, but why are they doing that?
Right.
Because they're bots and they're stupid.
No, it's because they think that they're
They
like
had a-
murderers overseas, and they look at videos from like Guantanamo
they're
Bay and
bots and they're
Abu
stupid.
Ghraib. Like that's not bot
gotta-
shit. There's
you
a lot
gotta
of
ask
hold on.
why.
You have to. There's a lot of stuff you should read.
Yeah.
If you want to be real controversial, you should read Osama bin Laden's fatwas for why they did 9/11 in the United States. There's everybody around the planet has a lot of reasons for the shit they do what they do. It's uncomfortable to
It's
look
not
at
right,
sometimes. It might not be right from your perspective, but everybody. You said it earlier. There's three perspectives to everything. It's very easy to look at something,
That's not why
especially
college
as
students are booing U.S. soldiers.
they booing U.S. soldiers. They're hearing U.S. soldiers are going overseas and raping people in fucking prisons in Cuba or raping people in fucking Abu Ghraib and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
even
they
though
hear
they're
shit like
stupid
that.
and they're wrong, in their head they think that they're right.
Grape.
Like, which is why they do the stupid shit that they do.
Yeah.
Like, I would never condone. Like, I don't even like when people burn the American flag. But you got to understand that the First Amendment is there to allow those retards to be able to do it, and which is why this country's so great. Because you can't burn a flag, a country's flag in a lot of places. The United States is, one of the countries that allows you to do it.
Islamic country?
Oh no,
Bro, you dead.
Stone.
but these weirdos that boo
love
soldiers,
Islam.
which I think is the worst thing that you can do. In their head, they look at it like, just like what Destiny was saying. They look at it like, you guys kill children, you guys drop drones on kids, you guys blah 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 blah. You guys are murderers. So I'm going to go ahead and boo you because I'm afforded the First Amendment right, which by the way that you defend for me. But I'm going to go ahead and boo you because they don't understand. Because again, privilege is invisible to those that have it. Put those idiots in Afghanistan and let's see them do the same stupid shit that they do. But again, this is why I say it's so important to go out to other countries and see how other people live because it makes you appreciate the United States.
Or
Or a
for,
lot of
like,
these idiots don't
fucking-
understand.
For progressives, I would love to see like all those ACAP people ever like, you should do a ride along in the Bronx. You should go to go to Chicago or go to some shit. Do like a ride along night shift.
everywhere.
And let's see how you feel coming out of it. Or for like people that live in suburbs that talk about homeless people, just don't. If you've never seen a homeless person in your life, shut the fuck up. Don't talk about them because people will say shit like, it's kind of scary depending on where you're at, especially if you're a small woman, you're walking around, you got homeless people walking around screaming. That's kind of scary. People come out and say shit like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're so evil or horrible. Like, why would you ever say that? It's like, homeless people can be scary. I can tell you've never met one before. So you don't have an opinion on it. Shut up. Do you know, is it Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. The girl.
She tweeted out a clip of lady, I think it's an older Asian lady, is walking down the street. Guy walks up and just socks her in the face. I think she gets a fractured nose. This guy had been arrested 41 times.
Damn.
41 times. And she tweets out, and she's like, this is a little bit fucked up. And everybody dogpiled like, well, what do you want to do? Throw him in jail like forever? Do you think it's ethical to put him in Rikers where he's going to get abused by cops? And it's like, bro, 41 times.
Yeah. But that's and again, those idiots think that they're right for saying that. Like it's crazy to me to like people that are dead fucking wrong and like stupid, like people that boo soldiers, for example, in their head, they're able to rationalize it.
They just lack perspective.
Oh yeah, these guys are murderers. They went over there and killed children in Iraq, so I'm gonna boo them, even though like you don't know what the fuck they had to go over there and do. Most people will never be soldiers, aren't fit to be soldiers, and will never be able to handle
And
what
it's for
soldiers do.
your damn freedom.
And it's for your damn freedom.
Right.
But people
To be
disrespect.
able to just talk shit.
Yeah.
I seen a crazy TikTok of a girl. She was like, what are men for? Why don't you just go to a war and die? It's like
But you know
really?
what?
Like, do you even understand the implications of that? Like, damn.
But that's the stuff on TikTok, but not our videos.
Yeah.
The important thing
but
about
internet,
this,
she looks at it like all men are evil, so I can say this in her twisted mind. She thinks that.
The important thing, in my opinion, for understanding that most people are trying to come from a good place is because if you're trying to change their mind, there's a huge difference between like, how do I change your mind if you're evil versus if you're just like misguided? Because like, if there is somebody that they're saying some crazy, stupid shit, but it's because they've got dumb information, like if you show them the right kind of information, slowly you can show them. But if they're genuinely evil, you can't do it, right? If there's a guy that doesn't like black people because he's had like 2 bad experiences versus a guy that's like a fucking like Nazi, right? The way that I would change these 2 people's minds is way different. They're like, the actually evil dude is going to be really hard to convince, but the other guy is like, I just need to show you a couple fucking stories or give you a little bit more information and I can slowly change you over time. You know, that's kind of how I view it.
Why it had to be black people, bro?
What do you mean by that? I'm fucking with you,
You know, it's all black people. I learned from H3H2 that I need to use KKK examples for everything. So, MLK for everybody. Okay,
Doesn't address that part.
L3 just said that Andrew Tate is suing him for defamation allegedly. W. Tate. Henny, Chris, is here. Thank you so much. Hey, you know
Makes
what?
sense calling him a rapist every day on Twitter and going massively viral.
Really? Okay, well then he deserves it.
Just on that, okay? I don't like a lot of the things that Andrew Tate says. You have to address what he says. So many people open up, and I actually saw this. It's very rare that I don't know how. Have you ever heard of like actual malice, like New York Times or Sullivan? It's very hard to sue public people for defamation. But when Ethan is literally going on Twitter,
especially as a public figure,
the actual malice. But Ethan is actually on Twitter saying like, oh, like a sex offender, like victim trafficker or whatever. Right? That's bullshit. That's not true. You know that's not true. You know that's not true. The conviction isn't there. You could say it was investigated for. If you want to throw that, I'm fine. Fucking go for it. But the conviction is not there.
Yeah.
So that's some bullshit. Like I said, when I go into forums of people making fun of me personally, it's because I know I won the debate.
Yeah.
When he's out here just making all these personal attacks, and the left has this problem. If you don't like what Andrew Tate says, it's so much easier to tear somebody down than it is to put your own figure up against them. Who are your role models? Who should men be trying to emulate on your side? What are the values that you're selling people? Because you can't just attack, and then at the end of the day say like, buy my merch and smoke weed. Like you have to have something else there for people to kind of like grab onto. You know, there's got to be something that you're selling
side,
people.
Man.
Right?
Come to the guy. I know you are.
And here's the thing.
Bro.
This is why H3 continuously loses subscribers. They don't have respect. That's why he has to keep his chat in sub-only mode, and he can't like have open, dialogue with his people. People come in our chat all the time and talk shit about us and call us assholes. Yep. But we're never gonna, get the chat on and be like, even the mods. I tell them, guys, if we got haters in here, let them talk.
Let them rock.
I don't even want to ban them or anything like that because let them go. I have no problem with people coming in and criticizing our viewpoints because we could defend them. Ethan though cannot. Him, Ethan Decline and Lasagna, right? Those guys, they're not in here to get facts. They're not in here to debate real points. They're here to make stupid ass stories, lie, and say dumb shit that isn't true. Andrew has debunked this human trafficking bullshit several times over. No charges were filed. They showed video footage of the girl in the house, willingly partying with the other girls, ordering a fucking pizza, going outside, getting an Uber, this stuff. Police leaving, all that shit.
That's crazy.
They've debunked it a million times.
Where does he get the rapist thing from? He's saying rapist on Twitter is going like 300,000 likes on Twitter.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Well, he says it because here's the thing. Ethan knows that most of his audience, number one, they're stupid and they don't have critical thinking skills. They're not going to go ahead and actually investigate and see if it's right. When Ethan went ahead and made that dumbass allegation with that girl that called into the show, bro, everyone knew, like, yo, this seems kind of off. And then we went ahead and did our stream where we debunked it with text messages, everything else like that. And it made him look stupid. He lost 10,000 subscribers that day. But this is what Ethan does. Him and the L3 and their whole fucking L podcast, they don't make their podcast on the truth. They say a bunch of stupid shit that's going to get them views. They're going to do a clickbaity title. And that's what they do. And, I hope Andrew did sue you. And I hope you fucking, lose a bunch of money in that shit. I don't want you to lose all your money, but you need to lose something so you understand that you can't do this shit.
Calling people things that are not true, bro.
He did it. He tried to do it to us too.
My favorite fucking thing from that entire stream from start to finish was when even the girl felt like Ethan was pushing too far. He's like, would you say he like assault? Yeah, assault. And he did no. He's like, oh, you sure? Maybe he did. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just hand her a fucking note card and get her to say what you want to say. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's the way people enough. Like,
so stupid.
The fact that I get banned for like spreading a message. You know what my last tweet was God is good. I started tweeting and I was retweeting people saying like Sneako should be banned off of all social media platforms. I quote tweeted it. I said, you cannot fight hate with hate. You need to fight hate with love. So even though I see Ethan Decline and I see these people and it gets me really like I get angry, but you cannot fight that type of rhetoric with anger. You just have to be like, if he does get deleted, I will not celebrate. I will not wish that on anybody. Right. I understand why you're like that, even though he's twice my age. I get why you're acting like this, and if you have to let them lie and but you can't wish the same thing
It's
upon
almost
them.
like you feel sorry for them almost.
And let me
I
make this
do, because
perfectly
it's very predictable. Everything they say, I know they're about to say.
Yeah.
And let me make this perfectly clear.
cool.
I do not wish, even though they definitely want us to get canceled, I do not wish anything for Ethan Klein's platform or Lasan's platform for them to get the platform, whatever.
Yeah.
You should lose some money, Ethan, for stupid shit that you said. So if Andrew sues you for and you lose 100K, whatever, it is what it is. You'll be fine. But the thing is that you need idiots like this sometimes to show that there's idiots out there still. That's really what it is, because there's still a considerable amount of people that listen to H3 podcast, which I don't know why, because they're constantly lying on people's names. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is.
All right. So we got a show with some girls coming up right now, actually.
Yeah.
They're all here.
Okay, do we hit all the chats? Last one here, 3 Diglets. Rollo versus Destiny, a steel cage match with Hero as a special guest referee. Can y'all drop where they can find you real quick, Sneako?
It's going to be hard to find me, but I'm out there. Search my name if I'm still up. But yeah.
Sneako, what platform would you be on if you got canceled?
See, I've been thinking about that. I think Rumble is
Okay.
no, I don't know about Rumble. I think it's a little bit of a cash grab by the Tates, so it's hard. The platform, like, I wish it would improve. Like, it's a little bit 2008.
Yeah.
There's also Cozy TV with Nick, but Nick was a big reason that I got canceled off a lot of the stuff. So it's like, should I really be talking about like 9/11 conspiracies? If like, let me relax on that.
Yeah.
Infowars is cool. I don't know. What I really want to happen is I want people who are like-minded and see the truth and see that freedom of speech is dead. I want people to all work together, not all make these side projects. I want the Tates. I want Kanye West, Alex Jones, Trump, especially Truth Social. Like, nobody uses Truth Social. All those people, you need to put their ego aside, because all of them have like this big inflated thing. It's true. They have a good message, but because they have a big audience, they really think they have too much of an ego and like, I'm the man, I'm the top G, I'm this. Instead, let's work together. And it's going to happen to me. I have the same message as all these people. I want to work together to make a platform that everybody can go to. That's the only way to beat big tech.
Facts.
If you make all these side little projects, these goofy ass 2008 Reddit looking websites, like nobody wants to go on that. YouTube's UI will always beat it. It's been worked on since 2005. It is objectively better than all your platforms. Well, there's no AdSense. There's no ad money on Rumble. You can make super chats and stuff like that. Cozy TV, the same thing. You can't make AdSense money. If everybody worked together, we can beat big tech. I really believe that.
Well, to add to your point, if I watch you on YouTube and you go away, I'm a YouTube head. So for me to go to another platform to watch you is going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, 100%.
Yeah, I understand.
But if enough people who have like an audience that's bigger than then we can win.
But we can win. Will there? That's the thing.
Trump,
That's the tough part.
Tate, Alex Jones, Nick, even just everybody who believes in free speech.
Speaking of Alex Jones, they had Alex Jones on their platform, Logan Paul and them, and they didn't say anything about him. And he openly said, hey, yeah, the Sandy Hook thing wasn't true. And, I fucked up, blah, blah, blah. But they'll have him on his platform, but they'll go ahead and demonize Andrew Tate. Another thing.
And Jordan Belfort on a convicted felon. And they're talking about, he's not a good man.
Yeah, he defrauded people of, upon millions of dollars. And, you're going to have Jordan Belfort on. And here's the thing. I love The Wolf of Wall Street, one of my favorite movies, whatever. But you can't sit there and pick and choose and virtue signal for certain people and not virtue signal for others. You've had convicted criminals and felons on your show, and you've had people that are in some pretty serious lawsuits, etc. Like Alex Jones, whatever.
About the webcam
you can't go ahead and attack Andrew and then go ahead and have these guys on your platform and not use the same. If you're going to be a critic like that and you're going to go and take the moral high ground, you need to take it with fucking everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't do that shit. I don't judge nobody like, oh, you're a fucking bad person. Like, no, fuck out of here, bro.
Destiny?
What? I don't know if that was a question or something. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, yeah, youtube.com/Destiny. That's what you find me.
Manifest your destiny, guys.
Yeah. Cool.
What? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay, now
guys, like the video, please.
Guys, find me on YouTube. Type in MJGetRight. I'm gonna be there. All right, your red pill pharmacist. Find me on IG. MJGetRight. Same thing.
And guys, MJ will get you right.